of technology. And I could, of course, share a lot more, but in a nutshell, we have created a number of acts and regulations now that protect, the common citizen in terms of their data. The most recent one is the Data Protection and Privacy Act. We want to be sure we protect your information, and whoever is collecting it has responsibility to ensure that your data is safe. But also, we are saying to users, you've got to be careful now, because as technology advances, also fraudsters are also thinking ahead of us. So every citizen now who is using technology and laptops, computers, phones to access services, number one, you must be careful. Who are the people around you? Just like there is an ATM, is your PIN known by people? In the same case, your password? Because everything is now on the phone. How are you managing your personal security and confidentiality? And that's a role for all of us. The government is taking care of the regulations, the court process, ensuring that we can take fraudsters to court. But you yourself also have got to ensure you have a responsibility to protect your device. But also lastly, we're also talking to telecom companies, the big telecom companies that are in charge of giving us access to these services. They have to build in strong policies, strong procedures. Shouldn't make it easy for anybody, any agent, to withdraw money, for instance, easily. There needs to be more controls in this process, because the easier it becomes, then the easier it is to lose information. But it's a process, I want to say to you, and the more we automate, unfortunately, the more security issues come up. But as a government, I think we have been already building in security for the bigger systems. But when it comes to phones and financial services, I think personal initiative also is important. Are you careful what you're approving? When you put your PIN in there, are you giving your PIN to agents? Are you giving your PIN to anybody else? That is also a very critical step.
Critical step it is for digital security, safety, and digital security and safety. So I think as the country and as the world is actually shifting to the economy of digitalization, or choosing e-commerce sectors, I think it is quite important for us to know of how we can safely protect what is ours and safely protect what belongs to us. And remember, online scam and fraud has been growing in Uganda for the last 2 years. Reason being, most of the Ugandans have turned their eyes to the digital space. And then every time that happens, trust me, you're always threatened. There are those risks attached. You always fear to continue using a certain platform, because your information has been saved there and someone can easily access it. So digital security and safety becomes very important. Now, like the gentleman has mentioned here, is the telecommunication companies need to come up with safety measures for the subscribers, safety measures for the users. Reason being, most of the telecommunication companies, or should I say all of them, are internet service providers. And it is through the internet that people are scammed. It is through the internet that people get into contact with you, and they can actually tap into your privacy. So the privacy settings are always important and vital, and all that. But clearly, if we can, cover it up and try to get into an in-depth safety analysis, we as Ugandans who use smartphones or use electronic gadgets, you need to make sure that, one, you keep your passwords in check. Two, make sure you associate with the rightful people while online, and you share sensitive information using the online platforms, because it is online stuff, and easily someone who's more informed than you can easily tap into your information, and then you lose everything, and you almost lose everything that you've been sharing. So clearly, and then that is what you have to know about digital safety and security. But as the world is actually adapting, switching eyes to the digital space, and so is Uganda. And that is an informative approach that you need to have. The digital space needs to be secure and safe for anyone to do business. Well, and with 6 minutes to the top of the hour, after the break, we're heading into the topic of discussion. Our topic of discussion is going to be maximizing donor funds in addressing climate change impacts in Uganda. The matters of addressing climate change impacts have actually led to a push from the global landscape, and the global approach to it is that by 2030, everyone wants to have a different view of addressing the matters to do with climate change. So this time around, we're going to be looking at maximizing donor funds in addressing climate change in Uganda. There are a lot of funds that have been coming through from various donors in Uganda to address climate change. How have these funds been utilized, and how can climate change be addressed? By 2030, hopefully, how can we emit away human activities, and how can we control the human activities that happen to safeguard the environment and address matters to do with climate change, to prepare a future generation that is going to receive better natural resources, and at least to receive an environment and an atmosphere that is conducive for the growth and sustainable development of the economies to come. 4 minutes to the top of the hour, to the third hour of the show. We take a break. After the commercials, we're right back with the topic of discussion. Good morning.